Every great achievement begins with a single thought, the spark of possibility that lights the mind and opens the door to what could be. Focus is the invisible force that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It is what separates those who dream from those who win, and it is the skill that can be developed, cultivated, and strengthened over time. Many people live their lives reacting to circumstances, letting distractions pull them in every direction, but winners live intentionally. They understand that attention is the most valuable resource, and every moment spent focused on the right actions compounds into remarkable success. This book is an invitation to train your mind to focus like a winner, to discover how clarity of vision, habits of excellence, and mental resilience can become second nature. As you read, you will meet stories of athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and ordinary people who achieved greatness because they refused to let distraction dictate their lives. You will explore practical strategies for protecting your attention, for designing routines that fuel consistent progress, and for building a mindset that turns challenges into opportunities. Focus is not about working harder or longer. It is about working smarter. It is about aligning your energy with your purpose and learning to navigate a world full of noise and temptation. Winners know that every distraction avoided, every moment of clarity harnessed, every action taken with intention brings them closer to their dreams. This journey will guide you to see your potential clearly, to embrace the discipline of attention, and to step confidently into a life where you are in control of your destiny. By the end of this book, you will not only understand the power of focus, but you will begin to live it. You will develop the ability to concentrate on what matters most, to resist the pull of distractions, and to cultivate the habits and mindset that turn ordinary days into extraordinary progress. This is your opportunity to awaken the winner within and to discover what is possible when focus becomes your way of life. Chapter 1. The power of focus. Focus is the foundation of every victory, and it is the quiet force that separates those who achieve their dreams from those who drift through life without direction. Winners understand that talent alone is not enough, and hard work without focus often leads to scattered results. The ability to concentrate deeply on a single goal without distraction is what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes. Consider the story of Michael Jordan, who is widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time. He was cut from his high school basketball team, but instead of giving up, he focused with relentless determination on improving his skills. Every day he practiced shooting, running, and defending with an intensity that few could match. He knew that talent would only carry him so far, and that true greatness required focus over long periods of time. Focus is not just about doing more, it is about doing what matters most. When a student dreams of becoming a doctor, she may face countless distractions, social events, video games, and the temptation to procrastinate. But by focusing on her studies and deliberately choosing her priorities, she builds the foundation for her future success. Every hour of focused learning compounds over time and brings her closer to the life she envisions. Winners also know that focus is selective and intentional. Oprah Winfrey built her media empire by saying no to opportunities that did not align with her vision. She understood that attention is a finite resource, and that by directing it toward meaningful goals, she could multiply the impact of her efforts. She avoided distractions that seemed urgent but were not important, and dedicated herself to projects that matched her purpose. Focus requires practice and discipline. The mind is easily pulled in many directions, and without conscious effort, it will wander like a ship without a rudder. Developing focus is like training a muscle, and it strengthens each time you resist distraction. You can start with small steps, like dedicating 30 minutes to uninterrupted work or study, and gradually build longer periods of concentrated effort. Over time, your ability to focus becomes natural and powerful. Even in the face of adversity, focus allows winners to persist and thrive. Thomas Edison experienced thousands of failed experiments before inventing the light bulb, but his attention never wavered. He treated each setback as feedback and continued refining his approach until he achieved success. Focus transformed failure into progress and uncertainty into opportunity. Focus is also about clarity of purpose, knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. When your goals are clear, your actions become precise and deliberate. Every decision is filtered through the lens of your vision, and distractions lose their power over you. A musician practicing for a major performance sets specific goals for each session and measures her progress, knowing that each focused moment brings her closer to mastery. Essence focus is the superpower of winners. It is the ability to align your thoughts or energy and your actions toward the things that matter most. It is the difference between drifting through life and living intentionally. It is the secret that allows ordinary people to achieve extraordinary things, and it is the first step in the journey to becoming a winner. Chapter 2. Vision and clarity. Vision is the compass that guides winners through the storm of life. Without a clear vision, energy is scattered, effort is wasted, and potential is left unrealized. Winners know that seeing the destination before taking the first step creates a magnetic force that draws their actions toward success. Clarity is not simply knowing what you want, it is understanding why you want it and how achieving it will transform your life. Consider Elon Musk in the early days of Tesla and SpaceX. He faced doubt from investors, criticism from peers, and countless obstacles that would have stopped most people. But his vision of a future with sustainable energy and space exploration was so vivid that it became a lens through which every decision was made. Every setback was measured against his long-term goal, and every success was celebrated as a step closer to the future he imagined. A clear vision also allows you to prioritize your actions and filter out distractions. Imagine a writer who dreams of publishing a best-selling novel. She may be tempted by social media, entertainment, or side projects, but when she has a clear vision of completing her book, she can structure her days with focused writing sessions, outlining and editing. By aligning her actions with her vision, she makes tangible progress even when challenges arise. Winners understand that vision is dynamic. It evolves as they grow and learn. The athlete who sets a goal to run a marathon may discover a passion for ultra-distance running and adjust her vision accordingly. Each iteration brings greater clarity and sharper focus. Because vision is not a static picture, it is a living guide that responds to experience and insight. Clarity also strengthens decision-making. When you know what truly matters, you can say no to what does not serve your goals and yes to opportunities that align with your purpose. Steve Jobs demonstrated this principle when he returned to Apple and eliminated hundreds of products that diluted the company's focus. His clarity allowed the team to concentrate on a few essential products that eventually changed the world. Even in daily life, clarity transforms small actions into meaningful progress. When you wake up with a vision of what you want to achieve, each day becomes intentional. You prioritize tasks that contribute to your goals and avoid busy work that produces little result. Winners plan their day around meaningful action and use their vision as a compass to navigate distractions and uncertainty. Vision and clarity also create resilience when the journey becomes difficult. A clear sense of purpose fuels persistence when obstacles threaten to overwhelm you. It provides motivation that comes from deep inside rather than relying on external rewards or temporary enthusiasm. When a student is exhausted from studying for exams or an entrepreneur faces financial challenges, it is their clear vision of the future that keeps them moving forward. In essence, vision and clarity transform dreams into actionable plans. They are the light that illuminates the path for focused effort and intentional action. Winners cultivate a vivid picture of their desired future and use it as a constant guide to shape decisions, prioritize efforts, and maintain focus even in the face of challenges. Vision without focus is a dream. Vision with focus becomes reality, and clarity ensures that every step taken moves you closer to the life you imagine. Chapter 3. Habits of Winners. Focus like a winner is built not in grand gestures, but in the small repeated actions that shape your mind and body into instruments of excellence. Winners understand that habits are the bridge between intention and achievement. The choices you make consistently define the life you create, and the habits you cultivate either strengthen your focus or scatter your energy. Consider Serena Williams, whose dominance in tennis is the result of daily routines that refine every aspect of her game. She spends hours practicing serves, footwork, and strategy, not because she is naturally more talented than others, but because her habits of preparation, consistency, and mental focus are unmatched. Each repetition strengthens her skills and makes excellence a natural outcome of her disciplined routines. Habits are powerful because they remove the constant need for decision-making. When you wake up at the same time each day and dedicate the first hours to your most important work, you train your mind to enter a state of focus automatically. A writer who schedules morning writing sessions finds that over time ideas flow effortlessly and productivity increases because the habit creates structure and momentum. Winners also design their environment to support their habits. They remove distractions and create spaces that encourage concentration and action. A software engineer working on a breakthrough app may arrange a quiet workspace, eliminate phone notifications, and set specific time blocks for coding to ensure deep focus habits are strengthened. When the environment reinforces them and weakens when chaos and clutter dominate, even small habits compound into extraordinary results over time. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who dedicates 30 minutes each day to learning about business marketing and leadership. At first, the progress seems slow, but after months and years of consistent effort, the accumulated knowledge opens doors to opportunities that once seemed impossible. Habits are the silent engines of achievement, and their impact grows exponentially with time and persistence. Habits of winners are also mental and emotional. They practice gratitude, reflection, visualization, and self-discipline to maintain clarity and motivation, even when external circumstances are challenging. They rely on internal routines to sustain focus and energy. A musician who meditates before practice enters a state of calm alertness that allows her to perform at her highest level and transform preparation into mastery building. Winning habits requires patience and resilience. The first weeks of any new routine feel uncomfortable, and resistance is natural. But winners persist, knowing that each small step strengthens the foundation for long-term success. Habits create automaticity, so that focus becomes effortless and distraction loses its power over the mind and body. In essence, winners are not born. They are made through consistent practice and deliberate habits. Habits turn vision into action and action into achievement. They are the invisible architecture of excellence, and when aligned with purpose and clarity, they make focus a natural state of being. By cultivating the habits that support your goals, you build momentum that carries you forward even when motivation falters and distractions tempt you away from your path. Chapter 4. Overcoming distractions. Distractions are the greatest thieves of potential, and winners understand that control over attention is more valuable than money, fame, or talent. The modern world is filled with endless noise, social media notifications, emails, and entertainment that pull the mind in every direction. Without the skill to resist distractions, even the most talented individuals struggle to achieve meaningful progress. Consider a software engineer developing a groundbreaking app. He sets up a quiet workspace, shuts off his phone, and creates time blocks dedicated entirely to coding. Every interruption avoided preserves the flow of creativity, and every hour of deep work compounds into breakthrough results. Focus requires protecting your attention as fiercely as a treasure, because the smallest distraction can derail momentum and waste energy. Overcoming distractions also requires self-awareness. Winners track their habits and notice when their minds drift into mindless activity. They recognize triggers that lead to procrastination and replace passive consumption with active creation. A writer drafting a novel may notice that scrolling through social media leaves her ideas fragmented, so she sets specific times for connection while reserving uninterrupted hours for writing. The choice to act intentionally transforms productivity and reinforces the habit of focus. Even great achievers face distractions. But what sets them apart is the ability to redirect attention toward what matters. Consider J.K. Rowling writing Harry Potter while managing family responsibilities. She wrote in cafes when possible, early in the morning or late at night. She faced interruptions, noise, and exhaustion, but her commitment to focus allowed her to make consistent progress and eventually create a story that changed millions of lives. Distractions were ever present, but clarity of purpose gave her the power to overcome them. Saying no to irrelevant opportunities is also part of mastering focus. Winners understand that time and energy are finite resources. Committing fully to one meaningful project is more effective than spreading effort across many minor tasks. Elon Musk did not divide his attention equally among his companies. He prioritized what would have the most impact and dedicated intense focus to achieving breakthroughs. Concentrated energy produces results, scattered energy produces stress, and mediocrity. Overcoming distractions also involves mental discipline, managing internal interruptions, negative thoughts, self-doubt, and fear. Winners cultivate mindfulness, self-reflection, and visualization to strengthen mental focus. A marathon runner trains her mind as much as her body, visualizing the finish line and staying present with each step, even when pain threatens to dominate. Her ability to manage internal distractions fuels resilience and performance. In essence, overcoming distractions is not about eliminating every interruption. It is about cultivating awareness and creating systems that guide attention toward what matters most. It is about saying no to the urgent but unimportant and yes to the meaningful. It is about training the mind to stay on course even when chaos surrounds you. Winners do not wait for perfect conditions. They create focus in the midst of noise and turn every challenge into an opportunity to strengthen their attention. Chapter 5. Mental Resilience. Focus, like a winner, is inseparable from mental resilience because even the most disciplined and talented individuals face obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. Winners understand that challenges are inevitable, but surrender is optional. Resilience is the capacity to recover, maintain focus, and continue pursuing goals when circumstances feel overwhelming or progress seems impossible. Consider Thomas Edison, who faced thousands of failed experiments before inventing the light bulb. Yet he treated each failure not as defeat, but as feedback. Every setback revealed what did not work and brought him closer to a solution. His unwavering attention to the process and belief in his vision allowed him to persist when others would have quit. Focus, combined with resilience, turned repeated failure into eventual triumph. Mental resilience is cultivated through self-belief, visualization, and emotional discipline. Winners anticipate setbacks and develop strategies to navigate them without losing sight of their purpose. A young entrepreneur may face rejection from investors or criticism from peers, but by visualizing the success of her project and reminding herself of her capabilities, she maintains focus and energy. She trains her mind to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow rather than reasons to stop. Athletes demonstrate resilience in the most visible ways. They push their bodies beyond limits, endure injuries, and train through exhaustion, not just to achieve physical excellence, but to cultivate mental toughness. A marathon runner who trains in harsh weather visualizes crossing the finish line and lets that image drive each step. She embraces discomfort as part of the process and uses adversity to strengthen her determination. Resilience also involves managing internal distractions, negative thoughts, and fear. Winners replace limiting beliefs with empowering narratives. They view obstacles as temporary and surmountable and maintain concentration on actions that produce results. A student preparing for critical exams may feel anxiety and doubt, but by focusing on preparation, reviewing material systematically, and celebrating small progress, she strengthens her mental endurance and maintains a winning mindset even. In daily life, mental resilience supports focus and achievement by developing patience, discipline, and the ability to persevere through challenges. Winners create momentum that carries them forward. Each time you overcome difficulty without losing focus, your capacity for success grows, and obstacles that once seemed insurmountable become manageable. In essence, mental resilience allows focus to be sustained when conditions are imperfect. It transforms setbacks into lessons, challenges into opportunities, and doubt into motivation. Winners cultivate the inner strength to persist despite adversity and combine clarity of purpose with consistent action to move steadily toward their goals. Resilience is the silent engine behind extraordinary achievement, and when paired with focus, it creates the unstoppable momentum of a winner. Chapter 6. Strategies for deep focus. Deep focus is the state where ordinary effort transforms into extraordinary results. It is the place where ideas flow effortlessly, creativity expands, and productivity reaches its peak. Winners cultivate deep focus through intentional strategies that guide attention and energy toward what truly matters. One powerful strategy is time blocking, dedicating uninterrupted periods to a single task without allowing distractions to intrude. Consider a writer working on a novel. She schedules 3 hours each morning exclusively for writing. No emails, no phone calls, no social media. In that time, she immerses herself fully in her story, and the words flow freely because her mind is trained to enter a state of deep focus. The results are far greater than attempting to write sporadically between other tasks. Another strategy is the elimination of non-essential activities. Winners understand that not everything that demands attention deserves it. They analyze daily routines and identify tasks that do not align with their goals. Then they remove or delegate these distractions. A software engineer building an innovative app may decline social invitations or postpone minor projects to protect the hours needed for creative problem solving. Focus grows when unnecessary obligations are eliminated and energy is concentrated on high-impact actions. Creating rituals also strengthens focus. Rituals signal to the mind that it is time to enter a state of concentration. Consider a musician who warms up with specific exercises before practice, or a student who starts study sessions with a short meditation. Rituals prepare the mind and body for sustained attention and reduce the effort required to resist distractions. The repetition of these rituals creates automaticity and makes deep focus a natural state rather than a forced effort. Winners also harness the power of environmental design to protect attention. A quiet space, minimal distractions, and organized work areas contribute to flow. Even subtle factors such as lighting, temperature, and background noise influence focus. Consider an entrepreneur who works in a clutter-free office with inspiring visuals and soft natural light. She finds it easier to sustain attention and make strategic decisions because the environment supports rather than interrupts her mental state. Mindfulness and mental training are additional strategies for deep focus. Winners practice awareness of thoughts and feelings to prevent the mind from wandering into distractions or negative self-talk. A designer working on a complex project may pause periodically to observe her thoughts and gently return attention to the task at hand. This repeated practice strengthens concentration and builds the mental muscle needed to maintain deep focus for extended periods. In essence, strategies for deep focus are tools that allow winners to maximize their time, energy, and potential. Time blocking, elimination of non-essential tasks. Rituals, environmental design, and mindfulness together create conditions where focus flourishes. Deep focus is not accidental. It is cultivated and maintained, and when practiced consistently, it becomes the engine of achievement, turning ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Chapter 7. Motivation meets discipline focus like a winner. Is fueled by motivation, but sustained by discipline. Motivation is the spark that ignites action, while discipline is the steady flame that keeps it burning. Winners understand that inspiration alone is fleeting, and that consistent achievement requires a commitment to act even when motivation wanes. Consider Serena Williams preparing for a championship match. There are days when energy is low and enthusiasm is tested, but her discipline drives her to follow her training regimen, practice her shots, and maintain her fitness. Even when motivation fluctuates, her disciplined habits ensure progress continues and excellence is achieved. Motivation gets her started, but discipline carries her across the finish line. Discipline transforms intentions into results by creating routines that enforce focus. Winners structure their day with clear priorities and stick to them even when distractions or fatigue threaten to pull them away. A young entrepreneur may feel excitement when starting a new project, but it is discipline that keeps him working late nights and early mornings, refining strategies, networking, and problem solving consistently until the vision becomes reality. Motivation without discipline is like a car without fuel. It moves briefly, but soon stalls. Discipline without motivation can feel rigid and uninspiring, but when combined, they create unstoppable momentum. Motivation provides the emotional drive that makes disciplined actions meaningful, and discipline ensures that effort is consistent enough to produce lasting results. Examples of this synergy appear in everyday lives. Think of a student who dreams of becoming a doctor. She wakes up motivated by her goal, but it is discipline that makes her study systematically, review materials, and complete assignments on time. Without discipline, her motivation might fade in the face of fatigue or distraction, but together they propel her steadily toward success. Discipline also strengthens mental resilience. By training the mind to act despite discomfort or doubt, it allows winners to push past temporary frustration and embrace the long term view. Success rarely comes overnight, and the consistent application of effort guided by motivation ensures that progress is made even in challenging circumstances. Consider Thomas Edison facing thousands of failed experiments. It was his disciplined commitment to testing and refining ideas, combined with his motivation to create a light bulb, that produced one of history's greatest inventions. In essence, motivation inspires and discipline executes. Winners cultivate both and understand that true achievement comes from aligning emotional drive with consistent action. Motivation is the reason to begin, and discipline is the reason to continue. Together, they form the engine that sustains focus through challenges, amplifies results, and turns dreams into reality. Chapter 8. The role of environment. Focus, like a winner, does not grow in isolation. It is deeply influenced by the environment that surrounds you, the spaces you inhabit, the people you interact with, and the atmosphere you create either strengthen your attention or weaken it. Winners understand that while they cannot control every external factor, they can intentionally design environments that support clarity, discipline, and progress. Consider an athlete training for a major competition. She chooses to practice in facilities that challenge her, or coaches push her teammates inspire her, and the culture demands excellence. The environment becomes a silent partner in her success because it constantly reinforces her commitment to growth. If she were surrounded by complacency, distraction, and negativity, her focus would slowly erode. The lesson is clear. Environment shapes behavior, and behavior shapes results. Think of a student preparing for important examinations. If he studies in a noisy room filled with interruptions, his concentration fragments and learning becomes inefficient. But when he creates a quiet, organized study space with necessary materials within reach, his mind settles and focus deepens. The simple act of arranging a desk, removing clutter, and turning off notifications transforms the quality of attention and multiplies productivity. Environment is not only physical, it is also social. The people you spend time with influence your mindset, habits, and ambitions. Winners choose relationships that encourage accountability and inspire growth. An entrepreneur surrounded by driven, innovative thinkers absorbs their energy and raises his own standards. Conversations shift from complaints to solutions, from excuses to action. When your circle values discipline and focus, it becomes easier to maintain your own. Even digital environments require careful design. In a world filled with constant alerts messages and endless streams of information, attention can be scattered within moments. Winners take control of their digital space by limiting notifications, organizing tools, and scheduling intentional times for communication. A writer who disconnects from the internet while drafting a manuscript protects the fragile state of creative flow and produces work of greater depth and impact. History offers countless examples of individuals who leveraged environment to fuel success. J.K. Rowling wrote much of her early work in cafes where the ambient noise allowed her to concentrate without household distractions. She turned ordinary spaces into creative sanctuaries by aligning them with her purpose. The key was not perfection, but intentionality. She chose environments that supported rather than sabotaged her focus. Your internal environment also matters. The thoughts you entertain and the emotional atmosphere you cultivate influence your capacity to concentrate. Gratitude, optimism, and self-belief create mental clarity, while fear, doubt, and resentment cloud judgment. Winners practice reflection, mindfulness, and positive reinforcement to maintain an inner climate conducive to focus. When the internal and external environments align with purpose, focus becomes natural and powerful. In essence, the role of environment is foundational to sustained concentration and achievement. Shapes habits, influences energy, and reinforces priorities. Winners do not leave environment to chance. They design it deliberately to protect their attention and amplify their efforts. When your surroundings support your vision, focus strengthens. Discipline deepens and progress accelerates, transforming ordinary days into purposeful steps toward extraordinary success. Chapter 9. Building unshakable confidence. Focus like a winner is strengthened by confidence, because when you believe in your ability to succeed, your attention becomes steady and your actions become bold. Confidence is not arrogance, and it is not the absence of fear. It is the quiet certainty that no matter what obstacles appear, you have the capacity to grow, adapt, and overcome. Winners cultivate confidence deliberately and use it as fuel for focused effort. Consider Michael Jordan, who missed thousands of shots throughout his career, and yet never allowed those misses to define him. Each failed attempt became proof that he was willing to take risks, and each risk strengthened his belief in himself. His confidence was built through preparation, repetition, and the courage to continue despite setbacks. Because he trusted his skills, he could focus entirely on the next play rather than dwelling on past mistakes. Confidence grows from competence when you invest time practicing, learning, and refining your craft. Your belief in yourself becomes grounded in evidence. A young public speaker may initially tremble at the thought of addressing an audience, but after delivering multiple presentations and studying the art of communication, her confidence rises naturally. She no longer focuses on fear of judgment, but on delivering value to listeners. Her attention shifts from self-doubt to purposeful impact. Winners also build confidence by keeping promises to themselves. Each small commitment honored strengthens self-trust. If you decide to wake early to train, study, or work, and you follow through, you send a powerful message to your mind that you are reliable. Over time, this self-trust forms the backbone of unshakable confidence. And focus becomes easier because internal resistance fades. Setbacks are inevitable, but they do not diminish true confidence. They refine it. Thomas Edison faced repeated failures, yet each experiment reinforced his belief that success was possible. He did not interpret obstacles as personal inadequacy, but as part of the journey. Confidence allowed him to remain focused on solutions rather than surrendering to frustration. Visualization is another powerful tool for building confidence. Athletes often imagine themselves performing flawlessly before stepping onto the field. A marathon runner envisions crossing the finish line with strength and determination. This mental rehearsal conditions the mind to expect success and reduces anxiety. That might otherwise scatter focus. When belief aligns with preparation, performance rises even. In everyday life, confidence shapes focus. A student who believes in her ability to master a subject approaches study sessions with curiosity rather than dread. An entrepreneur who trusts his vision makes decisive choices and remains steady when critics question his path. Confidence transforms uncertainty into opportunity and distraction into determination. In essence, unshakable confidence is built through preparation, persistence, and self-trust. It is reinforced by action and strengthened by overcoming challenges. Winners do not wait to feel confident before acting. They act consistently and allow confidence to grow through experience. When you believe in your ability to succeed, your focus sharpens, your discipline deepens, and your path forward becomes clear. Confidence is the inner foundation that allows you to focus like a winner and move steadily toward your highest potential chapter. 10. Mastering time and energy. Focus like a winner requires mastery of time and energy, because without control over these two forces, even the strongest vision fades into frustration. Time is limited and energy fluctuates, yet winners learn to manage both with intention and wisdom. They understand that success is not about being busy, but about directing time and energy toward actions that produce meaningful results. Consider an entrepreneur building a new company. He has the same 24 hours as everyone else, but what separates him is how he uses them. He identifies the tasks that create the greatest impact and dedicates his highest energy hours to strategic thinking, innovation, and relationship building instead of scattering effort across minor activities. He concentrates on what moves the business forward. His mastery of time transforms ordinary days into stepping stones toward extraordinary achievement. Energy management is equally important. A student preparing for important exams may attempt to study for endless hours, but without rest, proper nutrition, and physical movement, concentration weakens and retention declines. Winners recognize that focus is fueled by physical and mental vitality. They exercise regularly, sleep sufficiently, and nourish their bodies because they know that a tired mind cannot sustain deep concentration. Time is most powerful when it is structured with purpose. Winners plan their days around priorities rather than reacting to circumstances. A writer may schedule creative work in the morning when the mind is fresh and reserve administrative tasks for later in the day. This intentional arrangement aligns energy with the demands of each task and maximizes productivity. When time, energy are synchronized, focus becomes effortless and results multiply. Procrastination is often a symptom of unmanaged energy or unclear priorities. Winners confront it by breaking large goals into manageable steps and starting with small actions. A marathon runner does not begin with the full distance, but trains gradually, building endurance over time. Each session of focused effort strengthens capacity and reinforces discipline. Time invested consistently compounds into mastery and achievement. Even moments of rest are strategic. Winners understand that recovery is not laziness, but preparation for greater performance. A musician who steps away from practice for a short walk often returns with renewed creativity and sharper attention. Rest restores energy and prevents burnout, ensuring that focus remains sustainable rather than forced. Mastering time and energy also involves setting boundaries, saying no to distractions, commitments, and requests that do not align with your goals protects both resources. An executive who limits unnecessary meetings preserves hours for meaningful decision-making and innovation. Every boundary established reinforces clarity and strengthens the ability to focus deeply on essential work. In essence, time is the framework of achievement, and energy is the fuel that powers it. Winners do not allow either to be wasted. They plan intentionally, act consistently, rest strategically, and protect their resources fiercely. When you master time and energy, you create a rhythm of productivity that supports focus and accelerates progress. Each day becomes purposeful, each action intentional, and each step aligned with your vision. Mastery of time and energy is the discipline that transforms ambition into accomplishment and allows you to truly focus like a winner. Chapter 11. A power of persistence focus. Like a winner reaches its highest strength when combined with persistence, because success rarely arrives at the first attempt. Persistence is the steady commitment to continue moving forward even when progress feels slow and obstacles appear overwhelming. Winners understand that temporary defeat is not permanent failure, and that consistent effort eventually breaks through resistance. Consider Thomas Edison, who conducted thousands of experiments before creating a working light bulb. Many would have abandoned the idea after repeated disappointment, yet he remained focused on improvement rather than defeat. Each unsuccessful attempt provided information, and each lesson refined his approach. His persistence transformed frustration into innovation and turned a dream into a reality that illuminated the world. Persistence is visible in athletes who train relentlessly despite setbacks, injuries, and losses. A marathon runner does not quit after a difficult race. Instead, she evaluates performance, adjusts her strategy, and returns to training with renewed determination. Each mile completed strengthens not only the body, but the mind. The act of continuing builds confidence and resilience, and reinforces the belief that endurance leads to victory. Entrepreneurs also embody persistence when facing rejection and uncertainty. A young founder may hear no from investors countless times, yet remain committed to refining the idea and presenting it again. Each conversation sharpens communication skills and deepens understanding of the market. Persistence turns rejection into preparation and keeps focus fixed on the ultimate goal rather than the immediate obstacle. Persistence requires emotional discipline because frustration, disappointment, and fatigue naturally arise. Winners acknowledge these feelings but refuse to let them dictate action. They develop routines that maintain progress even when enthusiasm fades. A writer working on a novel may encounter creative blocks, yet by showing up daily and writing consistently, even imperfect words, she eventually produces chapters that shape a compelling story. The habit of persistence carries her through moments when inspiration is absent. History is filled with examples of individuals whose persistence changed the course of their lives and the lives of others. Leaders, innovators, and artists achieved greatness not because they were immune to hardship, but because they chose to continue despite it. Persistence kept their focus anchored to purpose and prevented temporary setbacks from becoming permanent barriers. In everyday life, persistence appears in small choices: choosing to return to practice after a mistake, choosing to study one more hour, choosing to refine a skill rather than abandon it. These decisions accumulate and create momentum. Over time, the gap between those who persist and those who quit becomes vast because consistency compounds into mastery. In essence, persistence is the bridge between effort and achievement. It strengthens focus, sharpens resilience, and ensures that progress continues. Even when conditions are imperfect, winners do not rely solely on talent or motivation. They rely on the discipline to continue moving forward. Step by step, day by day, persistence transforms doubt into determination and obstacles into opportunities. And it is through this unwavering commitment that you truly learn to focus like a winner. Chapter 12. Turning failure into fuel. Focus like a winner does not collapse in the face of failure. It becomes sharper, stronger, and more determined. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the path toward it. Winners understand that every setback contains information, guidance, and opportunity. They do not allow failure to define their identity. Instead, they use it as fuel to refine their strategy and deepen their commitment. Consider Michael Jordan, who was once cut from his high school basketball team. That moment could have convinced him that he was not talented enough, yet he chose a different interpretation. He saw the rejection as motivation to train harder, improve his skills, and prove to himself what he was capable. Each early disappointment strengthened his resolve and sharpened his focus until he became one of the greatest athletes in history. Entrepreneurs often face failure before achieving breakthrough success. A young founder may launch a product that does not gain traction. Rather than abandoning the vision, she studies customer feedback, adjusts the design, and tries again. Each attempt builds experience, resilience, and clarity. Failure becomes a teacher, revealing weaknesses and inspiring innovation. The willingness to learn transforms obstacles into stepping stones. Failure also teaches humility and patience. It reminds you that growth requires effort and refinement. A student who performs poorly on an important exam can choose to feel defeated or can analyze mistakes, seek guidance, and create a better study plan. The decision to respond constructively transforms disappointment into development. Over time, the lessons learned from failure create mastery that would not have been possible through effortless success. Athletes demonstrate this principle repeatedly. A marathon runner who does not achieve a personal best studies pacing, nutrition, and training methods to identify areas for improvement. Instead of focusing on frustration, she channels energy into preparation for the next race. The setback becomes motivation, and the experience builds mental toughness, turning failure into fuel. Requires a shift in perspective. Winners ask, what can this teach me, and how can I grow from this experience, rather than why did this happen to me? This mindset keeps attention directed toward progress rather than regret. It transforms emotional pain into purposeful action and strengthens confidence in the ability to overcome challenges. Even history shows that many great innovations were born from failed attempts. Thomas Edison viewed unsuccessful experiments as discoveries of what did not work. Each attempt narrowed the path toward a solution and reinforced his determination. Failure was not an endpoint, but a necessary part of discovery. Everyday life turning failure into fuel means refusing to quit after criticism, mistakes, or rejection. It means maintaining focus on long-term vision while adjusting short-term strategies. It means understanding that growth is rarely linear and that resilience is forged through adversity. Each time you rise after falling, your belief in yourself strengthens and your focus becomes more powerful. In essence, failure is not a barrier, but a catalyst. It sharpens awareness, deepens wisdom, and strengthens resolve. Winners embrace failure as a companion on the journey to success. They transform setbacks into energy and disappointment into determination. By choosing to learn rather than surrender, you harness the true power of focus and continue moving forward with clarity, courage, and conviction. Like a true winner. Chapter 13. Creating a winning mindset. Focus like a winner begins in the mind, because every action, every habit, and every achievement is first shaped by thought. A winning mindset is not something people are born with, it is something they build through awareness, intention, and consistent mental training. Winners understand that the way they think determines the way they act, and the way they act determines the results they experience. A winning mindset is rooted in belief. Belief that growth is possible. Belief that effort matters. Belief that obstacles are temporary. A student who believes intelligence can be developed approaches challenges differently from one who believes ability is fixed. When faced with a difficult subject, she studies longer, asks questions, and practices more, because she sees difficulty as a signal to grow, not as proof of limitation. Her focus strengthens because her mind is aligned with progress rather than fear. Consider entrepreneurs who enter competitive industries are surrounded by uncertainty and risk, yet their mindset transforms pressure into opportunity. Instead of thinking the market is too crowded, they think there is space for innovation. Instead of fearing competition, they study it and improve. Their thoughts shape their strategies, and their strategies shape their success. A winning mindset filters reality through possibility, and action gratitude is another foundation of this mindset. Winners appreciate progress, no matter how small each step. Forward reinforces confidence and keeps attention anchored in positivity. An athlete recovering from injury celebrates each improvement in strength and flexibility rather than dwelling on temporary limitations. This focus on growth rather than loss accelerates recovery and sustains motivation. Self-discipline and self-talk also define a winning mindset. The internal dialogue you maintain influences your energy and direction. Winners replace phrases of doubt with words of encouragement. They remind themselves that effort creates momentum and that persistence leads to mastery. When a writer encounters creative resistance, she does not say, "I cannot do this." She says, "I am learning and improving with each attempt." This shift in language reshapes emotion and restores focus. Surrounding yourself with positive influences strengthens this mindset. Conversations, books, and environments that emphasize growth and resilience reinforce winning beliefs. Over time, these influences reshape identity. You begin to see yourself as capable, adaptable, and worthy of success. Identity fuels focus because when you view yourself as a winner, you act accordingly. A winning mindset also embraces responsibility. Instead of blaming circumstances, winners ask, "What can I control and what action can I take?" This question directs attention toward solutions rather than complaints. It channels energy into progress rather than frustration. Responsibility builds power, and power strengthens focus. In essence, creating a winning mindset is about training your thoughts to serve your goals. It is about cultivating belief, gratitude, discipline, and responsibility. It is about choosing growth over limitation and action over hesitation. When your mind is aligned with possibility, your focus sharpens, your resilience deepens, and your potential expands beyond previous boundaries. Winning mindset is the foundation upon which lasting success is built. And when you nurture it daily, you move steadily toward becoming the person capable of achieving extraordinary results. Chapter 14. Commitment to excellence. Focus like a winner reaches its highest expression through a commitment to excellence. Because excellence is not an accident, it is a decision repeated. Daily winners refuse to settle for average performance or half-hearted effort. They hold themselves to higher standards and align their actions with the best version of who they can become. Excellence is not about perfection. It is about consistent improvement and intentional growth. Consider an athlete preparing for a championship match. She does not practice only until she feels comfortable. She practices until her performance is refined, disciplined, and resilient under pressure. She repeats movements, studies strategies, and reviews mistakes, not because she is forced to, but because she is committed to mastery. Her focus is not merely on winning the next game, but on becoming a player whose skill and discipline stand above the rest. Commitment to excellence appears in entrepreneurs who refine products long after they function adequately. A business owner who values excellence listens carefully to customer feedback, improves quality, and enhances service rather than accepting mediocrity. Each adjustment reflects dedication to delivering the best possible experience. Focus is sustained because the goal is not temporary success, but long-term impact. Excellence also shapes daily habits. A student committed to excellence does more than complete assignments. She seeks deeper understanding. She asks questions, reads beyond requirements, and practices consistently. Her focus is directed not only toward grades, but toward mastery of knowledge. This mindset transforms ordinary study sessions into meaningful progress and builds confidence rooted in competence. Winners understand that excellence demands sacrifice. It requires time, effort, and the willingness to delay immediate gratification in favor of future achievement. A musician rehearsing for a performance may practice for hours refining tone, timing, and expression while others rest. The difference lies in commitment. Excellence is the result of disciplined focus sustained over time. Even small tasks reflect commitment to excellence. A leader who prepares thoroughly for meetings demonstrates respect For team members and dedication to results, a writer who revises drafts repeatedly ensures clarity and impact in communication. These choices may seem minor, but they accumulate and define reputation identity and achievement commitment to excellence. Also builds resilience because it focuses attention on improvement rather than comparison. Instead of competing with others' winners, compete with their previous performance. They ask, how can I do better today than yesterday? This perspective fosters growth and keeps focus anchored in self-development rather than external validation. In essence, commitment to excellence transforms focus into mastery. It elevates effort from routine to remarkable and turns ordinary actions into extraordinary achievements. Winners choose excellence not once, but repeatedly in every task, every challenge, and every opportunity. When you commit to excellence, you align your focus with growth, discipline, and integrity, and you create a standard of performance that propels you toward lasting success. Chapter 15. Leading with focus. Like a winner, evolves into the ability to lead with clarity, strength, and purpose. Leadership is not only about guiding others, it is about mastering your own direction and inspiring confidence through disciplined action. Winners who develop focus naturally become leaders because their consistency, integrity, and vision create trust and momentum. A focused leader understands where they are going and why it matters. When vision is clear, decisions become decisive and direction becomes steady. Consider an entrepreneur building a growing company. If the leader is distracted, uncertain, or reactive, the team feels confusion. But when the leader communicates a clear mission, sets defined priorities, and remains committed to them, the entire organization aligns with purpose. Focus at the top multiplies throughout the system. Leading with focus also requires emotional discipline. Teams look to leaders during uncertainty and challenge. If a leader loses composure or shifts direction constantly, morale weakens. But when a leader remains calm, solution-oriented, and anchored in long-term vision, confidence spreads. A coach guiding athletes through a difficult season reinforces belief. By maintaining steady attention on improvement rather than dwelling on setbacks, the focus sustains motivation and unity. Great leaders listen with intention. Focus is not only about speaking, it is about paying attention to the needs, strengths, and ideas of others. When a manager gives full attention during conversations without distraction, team members feel valued and understood. This builds loyalty, trust, and collaboration. Focused listening strengthens relationships and improves decision making because insights are absorbed clearly and acted upon thoughtfully. Leading with focus also involves setting an example. Discipline, integrity, and commitment must be visible in daily behavior. A leader who expects excellence must demonstrate excellence through preparation, punctuality, and dedication. Actions speak louder than words, and consistent focus inspires others to elevate their own standards. When people witness a leader who protects time, prioritizes effectively, and remains persistent, they are more likely to adopt similar habits. History consistently shows that impactful leaders maintained clarity even in adversity. They did not allow temporary obstacles to derail their mission. Instead, they adjusted strategies while holding firm to purpose. Their focus created stability and guided others through uncertainty. Leadership rooted in focus becomes a beacon that others follow willingly in everyday life. Leading with focus can mean guiding a family toward shared goals, mentoring a colleague, or setting a positive example in a community. It begins with self-leadership, the ability to direct your own habits, thoughts, and energy toward meaningful outcomes. When you lead yourself effectively, you naturally influence those around you. In essence, leading with focus is about aligning vision, discipline, and action in a way that inspires others. It is about staying committed to purpose despite distraction and demonstrating through behavior what dedication looks like. Winners who master focus become leaders not because they seek authority, but because their clarity, resilience, and consistency create direction for others. When you lead with focus, You multiply impact, extend influence, and transform personal success into collective. Achievement Chapter 16. Sustaining long-term success focus. Like, a winner is not only about achieving success, it is about sustaining it over time. Many people experience short bursts of achievement, but struggle to maintain momentum. Winners understand that lasting success requires continuous growth, discipline, and renewal. They do not become complacent after reaching milestones. Instead, they refine their habits, expand their vision, and deepen their commitment. Consider an athlete who wins a championship. The moment of victory is powerful, yet the true test begins afterward. Complacency can quietly replace hunger, and focus can weaken. If discipline fades, champions who sustain greatness return to training with the same intensity that earned them success. They study their performance, identify areas for improvement, and prepare for future challenges. Sustained excellence demands consistent focus beyond the spotlight. Entrepreneurs who build thriving businesses face similar challenges. Initial success may bring recognition and financial reward, but markets evolve, competition increases, and customer needs shift. Leaders who sustain success remain curious, adaptable, and proactive. They invest in learning, listen to feedback, and innovate continuously. Their focus remains anchored in growth rather than comfort. Sustaining long-term success also requires balance. Burnout can undermine even the strongest ambitions. Winners recognize that rest, reflection, and relationships are essential to maintaining energy and clarity. A professional who dedicates time to health, family, and personal development creates stability that supports sustained focus. When life is balanced, energy is renewed, and performance remains strong. Continuous learning plays a vital role in long-term success. The world changes rapidly, and skills that once guaranteed achievement may become outdated. A student who graduates with honors must continue studying, adapting, and expanding knowledge to remain effective in a dynamic career. Winners approach life with curiosity and humility, understanding that mastery is an ongoing process. Resilience is equally important. Setbacks may occur even after significant accomplishments. Economic shifts, personal challenges, or unexpected obstacles can disrupt progress. Sustaining success requires the same mental toughness that built it. The ability to adjust strategies without abandoning purpose ensures that focus remains steady despite change. Gratitude also strengthens sustainability. When you appreciate achievements and acknowledge progress, you cultivate motivation without arrogance. Gratitude keeps perspective clear and prevents entitlement. It reminds you that success is earned through effort, discipline, and opportunity, and that continued focus is necessary to protect and expand it in everyday life. Sustaining long-term success means maintaining routines, protecting priorities, and revisiting vision regularly. It means setting new goals after achieving old ones and seeking improvement rather than settling for adequacy. Each day becomes part of a larger journey rather than a single destination. In essence, sustaining long-term success requires renewal, growth, and disciplined consistency. It demands humility to keep learning, courage to adapt, and strength to persist. Winners do not view success as a final achievement, but as a responsibility to continue striving, improving, and contributing. When focus remains steady beyond the first victory, true greatness emerges, and the journey of achievement continues with purpose and power. Chapter 17. Living with purpose and focus. Focus, like a winner, ultimately leads to a life guided by purpose. Because without purpose, focus loses direction and effort loses meaning. Purpose is the deeper reason behind ambition. It is the force that transforms goals into missions and work into contribution. Winners understand that when focus aligns with purpose, energy multiplies, resilience strengthens, and fulfillment expands. Consider a teacher who views education not merely as a job, but as a calling. Her purpose is to shape minds, inspire curiosity, and open doors of opportunity. Because her work is connected to something greater than routine tasks, she approaches each lesson with preparation, passion, and clarity, even on difficult days. Her purpose sustains her focus, and reminds her why her effort matters. Purpose provides stability during uncertainty. An entrepreneur building a company to solve environmental challenges remains committed even when profits fluctuate or obstacles arise. The mission to create positive change anchors decisions and fuels persistence. Focus becomes natural because actions are tied to values and long-term vision rather than temporary rewards. Living with purpose also sharpens priorities. When you know what truly matters, you can distinguish between meaningful work and empty activity. A student pursuing medicine out of genuine desire to heal others studies with dedication, because each chapter learned represents a step towards saving lives. Distractions lose their appeal when purpose is clear and compelling. Purpose strengthens resilience because it extends beyond personal gain. Athletes who compete not only for trophies, but to inspire communities often find deeper motivation. Their focus intensifies because they understand that their discipline influences others' children. Watching them learn about perseverance, courage, and dedication, purpose transforms performance into leadership. Reflection is essential in discovering and refining purpose. Winners take time to examine their values, strengths, and passions. They ask themselves what impact they want to create and how their talents can serve others. This introspection aligns identity with action and ensures that focus remains meaningful rather than mechanical. Even small daily actions gain significance when connected to purpose. Preparing for a meeting, studying for an exam, training for a competition, or caring for family members becomes part of a larger narrative. Each focused effort contributes to a life built intentionally rather than accidentally. Living with purpose also encourages integrity. When actions align with values, decisions become clearer, and confidence grows. You no longer chase approval or comparison because your direction is self-defined. Focus becomes steady because it is rooted in authenticity and conviction. In essence, living with purpose and focus creates harmony between ambition and fulfillment. It transforms discipline into devotion and effort into impact. Winners do not merely achieve success, they pursue significance. They align their focus with values and channel their energy toward meaningful contribution. When purpose guides attention, life becomes intentional, powerful, and deeply rewarding, and you embody what it truly means to focus like a winner. Conclusion: becoming the winner within focus like a winner is not a single act, it is a way of living. It is the daily decision to direct your thoughts, energy, and actions toward what truly matters. Throughout this journey, you have explored vision, discipline, resilience, persistence, confidence, excellence, leadership, and purpose. Each principle stands strong on its own, yet together they form the foundation of a life shaped by intention and achievement. Winning is not reserved for a chosen few. It is available to anyone willing to train the mind, protect attention, and commit to consistent growth. The athlete who rises before dawn to train the student, who studies while others rest, the entrepreneur who continues refining ideas despite rejection, all demonstrate that focus is the great equalizer. Talent may open doors, but focus keeps them open. Discipline may require sacrifice, but it produces strength that lasts beyond temporary excitement. There will always be distractions, doubts, and obstacles. The world will test your resolve and challenge your patience. Yet within you exists the power to remain steady. When you align vision with action, when you replace excuses with responsibility, and when you transform failure into fuel, you build an inner foundation that cannot easily be shaken. Focus is more than concentration. It is clarity of purpose and courage in action. It is the ability to say no to what diminishes your goals and yes to what strengthens them. It is the discipline to continue when motivation fades and the humility to keep learning even after success arrives. Each day presents a new opportunity to practice focus and reinforce the habits that define a winner. As you move forward, remember that greatness is not achieved in a single leap, but through consistent steps taken with intention. Your progress may feel slow at times, Yet every focused effort compounds. Every hour of preparation, every decision aligned with purpose, every obstacle overcome adds to your momentum. The journey itself becomes the training ground where character is forged and excellence refined. The winner within you is not created by circumstance, but revealed through choice. Choose to concentrate on what matters. Choose to cultivate resilience and persistence. Choose to commit to excellence and live with purpose. When do you transform ordinary days into extraordinary achievements and shape a future defined not by chance, but by deliberate action focus. Like a winner, and you will not merely chase success, you will embody it. You will lead with clarity, act with confidence, and persevere with strength. The path may not always be easy, but it will always be meaningful. And as you continue walking that path with unwavering attention, you will discover that the true victory is not only in what you accomplish, but in who you become. The end.
Kindly subscribe to my channel.